One of the key pillars of our strategic plan is the extent to which Arkansas State is connected and engaged with our community. That doesn't just mean Jonesboro, but it means all of Northeast Arkansas and the state of Arkansas as well. But our steering committee was really interested in how we could strengthen what we call the town and gown relationship between A-State and Jonesboro in particular. And so today we're going to be talking with two different people that share a vision for how A-State and Jonesboro can be more closely connected. And we're going to start off today by talking with Harold Copenhaver. Harold was recently elected as the mayor of Jonesboro. I've known Harold for a long time. I met him almost as soon as I got to A-State, and he's been a city leader for a long time and been engaged in the life of Jonesboro, and also understands the important role that Arkansas State plays here. But Harold, thank you for joining us for this video, and I appreciate you being willing to share with us your sense about the relationship between Arkansas State and Jonesboro.
Well, thank you, Chancellor Damphousse, and I'm honored to be here with the conversation today.
Well, thanks. I'd love to hear something about your perspective about how A-State and Jonesboro can continue, the strong bond. We've been part of Jonesboro for a long time from the very beginning, but you might have some thoughts about how we can actually make this better. And so I'd love to hear your perspective from the city of Jonesboro side.
Well, I'm looking forward to the opportunity, and as the mayor of Jonesboro, and I'm a proud citizen of this community, but more importantly, my children have all graduated Arkansas State University. My father was Dean of Fine Art at Arkansas State University, and my wife and I both attended Arkansas State University as our alma mater, and it is a wonderful opportunity for this community. I realize the partnership that the university has. It's a basis for this community and the youth in this community. I want to provide them the opportunity for them to stay here. They can achieve the status and all the experience necessary through Arkansas State University, but you have to look at the growth at what the university has done. And you now have the NYIT campus, and there's other possibilities that are coming down the road, and we as a city have got to develop and continue to move in the direction, because Arkansas State University is doing so.
It's interesting, the changes in the city, but also changes in our campus. The front door to our campus used to be coming on Caraway Road, and that's how you had to cross the tracks to get here. But that changed when we closed that down and created the Marionberry Parkway. But that's changed about how people get on our campus, but also changes how we're connected to Jonesboro as well. It's changed kind of the direction of the campus, focusing more on maybe engaging with downtown Jonesboro. And there's been a lot of conversation about the area between downtown Jonesboro and our campus, and about the changes that might happen there. Can you talk a little bit about your thoughts about that area between A-State and downtown Jonesboro?
Well, Kelly, exactly what you mentioned. It's all about connectability. And as mayor, that's one of my biggest goals in allowing this part of our community to become connected together, from Arkansas State, of course, to downtown. That is the center pivot of everything. And by using multi-trails, the possibilities of transportation for our students to connect them within our city. But more importantly, I see it as a corridor that the university and the city of Jonesboro can come together with opportunities to build on and provide for possibly additional facilities for engineering, and we can look at computer sciences and technology. Technology is going to be the key to the future, and this community is just on the cusp of doing that. But with the city and Arkansas State University working together, we can provide that so the best and brightest students in our community will stay here.
It's really interesting. You mentioned employment for our students and our interest in keeping them here. I think Jonesboro was very fortunate. Something that really surprised me when I moved here, that city leaders several years ago said we wanted to create a manufacturing base here so we can attract people to come work here, and so young people can have jobs and live here in Jonesboro. And we've been blessed by not just a very rich agricultural history here, but also more recently a manufacturing base here. But I think you're right. There's something very interesting that's going on in the world economy and the American economy in particular about a high-tech approach to solving problems and dealing with our engagement with the world. And you're seeing that on our campus academically. We've developed a new data analytics program and programs that are associated with coding and computer sciences. We also have a growing interest in artificial intelligence, and some of our faculty members are doing some really advanced work in artificial intelligence, actually partnering with local medical systems here as well to look at medical imaging and artificial intelligence. But I think there's really a strong potential for Arkansas State and Jonesboro to partner with maybe high-tech companies to come to Jonesboro, and then that provides our graduates from A-State an opportunity not to come here and get a degree and leave, but also to stay here, and that helps grow the city of Jonesboro as well.
Absolutely. And private-public partnerships, Kelly, and that's one thing that I campaigned on and I truly believe in. I've seen it work. The university is a fine example of how you've been able to not only work together, but then it prospers in the prospect. And the university brings individuals, high-quality individuals to our community as educators, but more importantly, it's the students. And I want you to know, as the university, I'm working hard in the community to involve our students at a much younger age. They're technology savvy, and it's their future that we need to have them involved in our community. And by partnering with the university, they can continue their educational moving forward and stay here as a family as well.
Well, it's really important for us, and I think that we're seeing a shift in students' perspective now. But I think students are more and more in tune to what kind of job they get when they graduate, and also the kind of place they live in. Exactly. Young people now want to not just do well, but also do good. Today, I think there's a great opportunity for Jonesboro to grow in that direction as well.
You know, as you say that, Kelly, I'm in conversation with people all over the country that are interested in the possibilities of what Jonesboro has to offer, and especially in the transition and moving forward in the quality of life. But in doing so, we have to integrate the youth. We have to integrate the college minds, because again, this is going to be their community in the future. And so I think it's important that with partnering with the university and the city and other industrial areas in our community, we've got an opportunity. I'm truly excited about it, and I'm looking forward to the progress that we can make.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for chatting with us about the important relationship between Arkansas State University and the city of Jonesboro, but also the people of Jonesboro. And you've got a really unique perspective. And speaking of unique perspectives, I want to shift gears now and talk to one of our more recent alumni, Lindsey Ford Wingo, who, sorry, I'm always going to call you Lindsey Ford because that's how I originally knew you. But Lindsey Wingo is the executive director of the Downtown Jonesboro Alliance. She recently graduated and then became the director there. Welcome to this discussion, Lindsey, about talking about Discover 2025.
Thank you.
Well, it's exciting to have watched you grow from a student and then to someone who's actually serving in the community here. But can you talk a little bit about what it was like thinking about going to college when you were in Rector and then deciding to come to college here, and then the decision to stay in Jonesboro to start your career?
Yes, so I loved growing up in Rector. If you're familiar with the town of Rector, it's a small town, great tight-knit community, and I knew that I wanted to experience sort of that same feeling whenever I was selecting a college. And also, one of the main things that I thought about when selecting a college is a little bit unique compared to maybe some other stories, but my dad gave me some really great advice in the fact that he said, a lot of students look at, well, where am I going to go to college? And that's their first question. But I think it's important to think about, where do I want to work after I go to college, and then maybe go backwards from there. And so I knew that I wanted to stay in Northeast Arkansas after college. So I visited Arkansas State and took a wonderful tour. And after that, I was totally sold. So I have no regrets about my college experience. It was absolutely wonderful. I did exactly as I had planned and decided to stay in Northeast Arkansas, but also Jonesboro after my college experience. I just loved the town so much, and I loved that it had that same tight-knit community feel, but also a little bit bigger with lots of different amenities for you to enjoy at the same time.
Well, one of the things that we talk about at Arkansas State, that we're big enough to do whatever you want, but small enough to feel like you're part of a family. And Jonesboro is kind of the same way, right? There's a lot of great stuff here. We're close to Memphis, of course, but even if you don't leave Jonesboro, people come to Jonesboro for interesting experiences, and Jonesboro is becoming more of a destination town and destination city. And so talk a little bit about what the Downtown Jonesboro Alliance is about and about what your role is there.
As Executive Director of Downtown Jonesboro Alliance, I wear many hats. It's a very fun job. I am sort of a liaison between our business owners and the city for things happening, but also planning events, anything beautification downtown, lighting, murals, alleyways, anything to do with downtown, we have a bit of a hand in it.
And you've been very successful pulling together the coalition of business owners, but also people who are not business owners who are just interested in the success of Jonesboro. My wife, for example, is part of the alliance as well, because she thinks that, and she understands that, a great Jonesboro helps us recruit more students and more faculty and staff to come to A-State as well. And so she wants to, and like the members of your alliance want to, kind of improve what's happening in the city of Jonesboro. But you've done such a remarkable job down there. The lighting in the evening, the availability of parking, just the overall look of downtown Jonesboro has just changed in the 4 years that I've been here. So congratulations on that. Since you're a recent graduate of A-State, I think you graduated like 2018 or so, you have a unique perspective, I think, about what students are looking for when they come to a college town. And I know you've done a lot of work with us helping create programming for our students down in the downtown Jonesboro area. Can you talk a little bit about some of the things you've done down there?
Yes, especially being an alumni and being my position with Downtown Jonesboro Alliance. Of course, I'm very passionate about connecting downtown and Arkansas State, but I think it's really unique and special because I was such a recent alumni whenever I got the position. I was actually finishing up my degree whenever I got the position, so I knew that connecting the gap between Arkansas State and downtown was something that I really wanted to work toward. And as executive director, I like to stay in contact with student activities board at Arkansas State, student government at Arkansas State, and the faculty that helps them. If we want to make Jonesboro a better place and have better quality of life and amenities for our students, then we need to hear from our students. So I always enjoy hearing from the students and hearing their thoughts and what they want to see in Jonesboro and downtown specifically. We have had some wonderful events with Arkansas State. One of my favorites includes the Arkansas State Welcome Week Block Party. It's a great event where we have all the students come downtown the first week of school and introduce them to our little downtown community. And we block off the streets. We have music, fun, games, and the restaurants have awesome discounts for our students with great food and just a really fun time.
Well, I remember the first time we did the block party downtown, we had blocked the area off and students came down there. I think students were uncertain about what was going to happen there, but it turned into kind of a carnival atmosphere with lots of smiling faces and joyful merchants, but also joyful students as well. I remember, so you have a unique perspective at Arkansas State as being a student and alumnus here, in that you grew up kind of in the area. And we recruit students from around the world to come to A-State, but you're one of our local kids, right? And we feel a huge responsibility for students who are growing up in the local area, the Northeast Arkansas, Southeast Missouri, and those areas, typically a lot of those students aren't going to college. And so I wonder if you have some thoughts or maybe some inspiration for high school students that are sitting there who might be watching this video, who might be inspired to think about, hear something from you, given that you were just in high school like 6 or 7 years ago. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about your insight on what the importance of going to college and the important role that Arkansas State plays for the region.
Well, I know that making college decisions looks a little bit different than it did whenever I was making my decision on where to attend college. With the pandemic and everything going on, I know that it's even more overwhelming for high school students. But one thing that I just want to reiterate and be rest assured in as a high school student, that I have no regrets in attending college in Arkansas State, and getting that degree truly changed my life, and it changed the lives of many of my friends and many others at my own high school. You'll hear it from recruiters time and time again that come and visit you, that at Arkansas State you can learn anything, dream anything, achieve anything that you want at Arkansas State, but there really is so much truth to that. And I love the fact that at Arkansas State you have that tight sense of community, and your faculty members and teachers and all advisors, they know you as a person, know you by name, but you can also do all of those things and have big goals and big dreams. I feel like one of the reasons why I have found success in my job and in my position at Downtown Jonesboro Alliance is, of course, the experience that I had with faculty members and all that I came in contact with at Arkansas State, but also the internships that set me up for that success with different businesses in our community. And I love seeing that with other students, whether it's media students at a local TV station or business students at banks and accounting firms, engineering with Hytro, Camfil, nursing, and all healthcare future professionals interning at our wonderful hospitals in our community. I think that that is truly one of the key to the success of being a student and blossoming whenever you graduate. And that's another piece of advice that I would have for high school students, is to really seek out those opportunities and internships in the community, because there's wonderful community members, and once you get connected in that way, it's guaranteed that you will want to stay and make Jonesboro your home forever.
Well, one of the pillars of Arkansas State University's Discover 2025 plan is to create rich learning experiences for our students, not just in the classroom, but through opportunities like study abroad, but also internships, because we know students can learn so much in an internship setting. And in your case, your internship supervisor was the one who encouraged you to apply for the Downtown Jonesboro Alliance position. But without that internship, you might not have had that mentor, and that mentor may not have had an opportunity to encourage you to apply for the job. So we're trying to create more experiences for more of our students here that are similar to what you had as well. So thank you so much for being part of this video discussion. I'm sorry we can't be together. I wish that COVID-19 wasn't an issue, but it is an issue that we're dealing with. But I appreciate you. We're so proud to watch you be so successful out there. I've had a lot of opportunities in the past 4 years to watch you present in front of large audiences, and you've done such a great job representing us. You're so poised and elegant and so well spoken, and it's just so great to see you applying the things you learned at Arkansas State in the real world. And congratulations on a great start to a wonderful career.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Well, that's great. Well, that brings us to the end of the First Friday video for the month of March. We're excited about this series that we've had, the 5 discussions we've had in a row of our Discover 2025 plan, looking at student success, about changing how we do teaching and learning, about enhancing our research profile to solidify our stance as a Research 2 university, to engage with our community in a different way, in a more enhanced way, and also to make sure that Arkansas State's a great place to live, to learn, to work, and to serve. And so we're excited about seeing all those things come into fulfillment. It's one thing to create a plan, but now we have to start implementing the plan. So we've been sharing with you some of the thought process behind the creation of the plan. In the coming months and years, we'll talk about how we're actually implementing it, and people will start to see the fruits of our labor as we created this plan. I do want to close, though, by thanking 2 groups of people that have made a huge impact in Arkansas State in the past month or so. First, I want to talk about the mass vaccination clinics that we've engaged in here at Arkansas State. We've been so blessed that so many volunteers from the community, retired faculty members, our students, our current faculty members, our staff and faculty members who volunteered in a non-health profession role at our mass vaccination clinics, which has allowed us to vaccinate over 1,300 of our employees. And that includes full-time, part-time student workers and graduate students and graduate assistants as well. Their efforts have made it possible for every single Arkansas State University employee who was eligible to get the vaccine and who wanted it to get it. And so thank you to everyone who made that possible. Special shout out to Dr. Lori Wynn, who really ramrodded the whole operation. We had 2 vaccination clinic partners that we worked with and pharmacy partners that we worked with. We had to deal with a snowstorm in the middle of one of our vaccination clinic processes, and it was a very complicated operation to run. We've never done mass vaccinations like this on this scale before, and she did a remarkable work. There was a whole bunch of other people that were very involved as well. So special thank you to everyone who made that possible. The second group that I want to acknowledge is our inclement weather essential personnel who came to campus in the wake of our ice storm, which was followed by a snowstorm, which was followed by another snowstorm, which affected not just our campus, but the entire region, including the entire state of Arkansas. And so those folks came to campus to protect our students who were living on campus. That includes our University Police Department, our facilities crews who came out in the middle of the night and were, sweeping off sidewalks and laying salt down to protect people who are walking around campus, our cafeteria, our student affairs staff, our student union staff, our library staff, our housekeeping staff, all those folks who came to campus to make sure that our students were safe during the inclement weather. I really appreciate what you did. I also want to acknowledge all the staff members and the faculty members who continue to work remotely as well. The wonderful thing, or the silver lining about COVID-19, is that we've learned how to work and learn remotely. It's not ideal, it's not the best situation, but it's allowed us to keep up with that progress over time. So I'm thankful for everyone who served so well during the recent storms. Now, as I wrap up the First Friday video, it's been, again, very exciting for me to go through this series to talk about Discover 2025, and can't wait to talk more about that in the future. But I know a lot of you like to stay on top of what's happening in Arkansas State, and you can always do that by reaching out to me by email at chancellor@astate.edu, or you can follow me on social media at KDAM. All right, everyone, until we meet again, wolves up.